Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. This is Faceless, Not Valueless. This channel is dedicated to support and validate victims and survivors of narcissistic abuse. You can go ahead and like my videos and subscribe to my channel. That way you will be giving me the strength to get out of narc abuse myself. If you haven't seen my other videos, go ahead and do it. It will give you proper context. I thank you so much for being here with me today. And remember that I am not a licensed counselor, therapist, or psychologist. I'm just here to help you in your journey and let you know that you're not crazy, you're not alone, you are loved and valued. So today I want to talk about how logic does not apply to the narcissist. Now you might be watching this video for several reasons, but whatever your reason is, you have probably discovered that these type of personalities are very, very hard to encounter and deal with. And maybe you have even thought of the possibility of sitting down with this individual and discussing the fact that, in the normalcy of things, people in the world and things have their order and they operate in a similar fashion. I am afraid to burst your bubble and disappoint you and discourage you in your thoughts, but it doesn't matter how much you really want to confront a narcissist in a healthy way. It's not gonna end up in a good way. And I'm not trying to be pessimistic because I have thought the same thing as you, okay? And so let me share a little bit of how I have tried to, knock in some sense in this person. I have tried to talk to this person in the most calm manner. I have tried to have heart-to-hearts with this person, honest conversation, one-on-one. But it has been so draining because you are probably listening this because your father or your mother or someone in your family or a loved one is a narc. But especially when someone like your parents was a narc, lives with you and stuff like that, it's very hard because you feel the necessity of parenting your parents. And that's something that I just cannot stand. I will be making another video when it comes to the different roles in the family of a dysfunctional family. And let me clarify this really quick. There is a difference between a dysfunctional family and an abusive family. Most families are dysfunctional because, newsflash, people are imperfect. That makes total sense. Not everyone will get along, not everyone will communicate the same way, and not everyone will be understood or cherished or loved or respected in the same way. It doesn't mean that the actual family is abusive. It could be that they're dysfunctional. But when your family is dysfunctional and abusive, oh man, that's a whole nother animal. Because now you're combining other elements that make it harder on the people around them. So when it comes to logic, the narcissist is usually a person who is gifted in many different areas. They may be very intelligent in some certain area that they studied in college or in school or that they learned in their working experience. However, when it comes to emotional intelligence, because there is a thing as such, there is such thing. It is so. You need to research it. I'm not making this up. Emotional intelligence is very, very important. A person may be extremely smart and genius, but it does not mean that this person has the capacity to maintain relationships in a healthy way, because normally narcissistic abusers, they were abused themselves when they were younger. And your emotions, they stop growing at the moment you are abused. Okay? Your emotional intelligence stops developing at the age where you are being abused. And And it's very interesting because, my male narc parent, he was abused when he was a child by his mother and other people in his family. And growing up, I would have to listen to all of these abuse stories as a little girl. And that's very destructive. You see, because what the narcissistic parent is doing now is putting a role on the child. They're trying to make the child sit and hear all of their worries, all of their complaints, all of their issues, as if they were a therapist. And, last time I checked, my 9-year-old self was not a counselor. But there's so much pressure, guys, in wanting to make things right with the narcissist for many different reasons. And you almost feel guilty because you almost feel like you have to parent your parents because you have been conditioned to be your mom's or your dad's or your guardian's psychologist, So, many of you that are listening to this may not be affiliated with any type of religion, and I do respect that. I am a Christian and I do hold Christian values and morals, so I can only speak on my behalf. The Bible says that you should honor your mother and your father, which I do agree, but what people get it wrong is that the Bible doesn't say parent your parents. It says honor your parents. So the best way I can honor my, narcissistic parent is by not letting him or her abuse me. That's the best way I can honor someone who is, damaging me. I can honor an abusive person by not letting them abuse me. Because if they abuse me, I'm not honoring them. I'm not even honoring themselves. Or even myself. And so healthy boundaries does not mean that you cannot love a person, or it doesn't mean that you cannot honor a person. There's many people I do respect and honor, but it doesn't mean that I like them, right? There's a lot of people that I may like that are difficult to love, and there's a lot of people that I love which I don't like. See, everything in life doesn't have to be black and white, because every situation is different. But with the narc, everything is black and white. This is why it's so hard to sit with them and make a little bit of sense in their brains, okay? So let me give you several examples. My dad was not being very nice to my mom during one time, and I was fed up. And so I confronted him and I told him, listen, I know the things you've said to my mom. I've seen you threatening my mom, and I've seen you physically cornering her in the bathroom. I've heard you countless of times insulting her. And, certain experiences that happened, specific events that happened that I remembered, I described it to him. And the first thing this person did was what are you talking about? I don't remember that. What are you talking about? And my mother would be like, I don't know what she's talking about. Complete denial. Logic does not apply to a narcissist, because not only are they not able to have empathy, not only they are not able to own their mistakes and apologize in a genuine way, they are not able to recall what happened for their own convenience. They probably know some of the things that happen when, if a person is abusing drugs or something like that, then maybe they don't remember what they did, which makes sense. But if you really think about it, there may have been times where they do understand what happened. And let me tell you something. This is what a lot of people say. Oh, these people don't know what they're doing. They perfectly know what they're doing. It is proved in a psychological manner that these type of people, they do know what they're doing. They know what they're doing, but it doesn't mean that they don't know well enough to change. Like, they don't, how to explain this? They don't want to change because they're so entitled, and they're like children. They want their side to be correct all the time. See? And so I confronted this person, and this person went like Scooby-Doo. If you know what I'm talking about, then you're probably like nodding your head like, yeah, I know what you're talking about. You know, Scooby-Doo would look to the right, look to the left, and be like, huh, me? Like, who are you talking about? That's exactly what happened. And then I went into a further discussion with this individual, talking about the different things that would happen in the family. And this person told me, oh, every family is not perfect. And I'm like, yeah, I agree with that. And then I told him, but what happens if my future spouse or my future boyfriend, for all that matter, would hit me and I tell you, hey, he hit me, like, what will you do? And he said, well, every family deals with this type of things, and this happens in every family. And that really scared me, because I told him, it may happen in some families, but it doesn't mean that if it happens a lot, or if it doesn't happen in all families, it doesn't mean that's normal or it's okay. It's almost like this person thinks it's okay to treat other people this way. So I know some of you may be listening to this and you're like, I just need them to apologize. I need them to let them know what they did wrong so that they can come and apologize and they can come to their senses. Let me help you out and save you a lot of time and energy, okay? Don't do this, because it will backfire and it won't help you at all. Let me actually break this down to you. A narcissist doesn't want to be sorry. They don't want to be sorry. They don't want to hear your story. They don't care. And if they do apologize, it's a half-baked apology. Let me explain. When you apologize to a person, you don't say, I'm sorry that you felt that way, because now I'm making the other person guilty for their own emotions. Everyone is entitled to their emotions. So emotions are not wrong or bad. They're not wrong or right. They just are. Everyone is entitled to have their own emotions. Even, for example, if I don't think I hurt someone, but they took it the wrong way, I'm not going to be like, well, they shouldn't feel that way because I didn't mean it that way. I should still apologize because they felt bad. And if they felt bad, then I should be more careful with the things that I say. A good apology, guys, is not, I'm sorry that you feel this way, but. If you include the but, you ruin the whole apology. It doesn't really mean that you're genuine. These people like to do this a lot. And not only that, but they always focus on the other person. Oh, I'm sorry I made you feel that way. No, like, a good apology is, okay, I understand that what I said was hurtful, and I do acknowledge that, and I take ownership of that, and please let me know how I can make it up to you. I hope you can forgive me, and I will be careful to be, more aware of my words, and I won't let this happen again. See, that's a good apology, and you are validating the other person's emotions, but at the same time taking responsibility of what you're doing, and you're saying to the person that this won't happen again. You're reassuring them. Okay. These type of people, they don't do that. If they do apologize, they don't really mean it. They really don't. Actions speak louder than words, guys. If this person tries to say I'm sorry, but they don't really change, what does that tell you? I'll leave that to your own imagination. And so there has been so many times, and you will probably see this throughout my videos that I post, how the narcissist is just unable to grasp logic. And it's such a shame because they're so bright, They're so smart in different areas, but they are not willing to grow emotionally because of pride and arrogance. It's really, really, really sad how much you think you can change a person, but you really can't. It doesn't matter how much you love them. It doesn't matter how much you honor them. They won't change unless they want to. Don't put that burden on you. And it's very tempting to put that burden on you. Trust me, I've been there. Narcissists, they don't like to use logic because they know that in order to inflate their ego, they have to intimidate the other person. They look like they're confident, but actually on the inside, they're not confident at all. And one of the ways they keep that ego is by, operating in their own logic, which is flawed, obviously. So that's all that I have to say about this topic. Leave your comments below and let me know what you think about this. And thank you for hearing me. I hope you have a great day.